Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Oh, yay, our Mama Holly Bear is with us. Good morning. And I left my glasses in my backpack, but that's okay. I can see you. Annie Seven, good morning. Andrea Gregg, Kathy Hand. Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday, and cheers to you. How's everybody doing? Kathy Caputo, we would like to know how you're doing, and hopefully it's a good report this morning. So I'd love to hear that. And I bet you are a bunch of frozen peas because we're cold here in Florida. So if we're cold in Florida, we know that you're cold up north. so I won't even tell you how warm it is here compared to where you are. But let's just say I'm glad that I am here and not in some other place. So, how you doing? It's a beautiful day here in the pea pod, and I'm so happy that you're here with me. Let's just go into our hearts. Let's just envision that it's an amazingly powerful day, because it is, and we can do that. So let's go into our hearts with the breath. Just breathe right in. Just allow. And release. Good morning, Catherine DeSanti. Good morning, Catherine Kovacs. And Julie Kiss. Hello to everyone coming in and finding us. We're doing the heart brain, so bring it in. Breathe in love. Tell yourself that you are loved, because you are. That you are beautiful, because you are. So breathe it into your heart. Hi, Sally and Tony. Good morning. And just release that breath out. Let your whole body relax. And just be. It's so beautiful when we can just allow ourselves, just be in the moment. We don't have to be anything at all. Just be here together and feel the love in the room. Linda Lemieux, I'm so glad you're here. Just experience the love. Isabel, good morning, sweet one. Oh my goodness, it's so good to see some of you that we don't get to see all the time. And I want to get to the message from the angels, which is, we are the key to the change in our world. When you're down and out, there seems no hope at all. But if you just believe, there's no way we can fall. That's a line from We Are the World by USA for Africa. I remember well the first time I heard the song. I want you all to think about that. When you first heard the song, We Are the World, think about that moment. It touched my heart, and the reason behind the song was monumental. Being there for those who had no hope, with death a reality in their world every moment. The song goes on to say, there are people dying. Oh, and it's time to lend a hand to life, the greatest gift of all. The song raised over $75 million for people in need in Africa. I watched the documentary of how it was made, and it's a miracle that it even came to be. Dear angels, when it is divine time for something to come into our world, there is no stopping it. Just as the song had its trials, such as procrastination of the two megastars who wrote it, and then being sung by 46 of the biggest names in music at that time, and thus big egos. It's interesting how people come together when there's a crisis. I saw it in the aftermath of 9/11 and other major disasters. At the very core of our being is a compassionate spirit that is made of love. The song reminds us that, quote, there comes a time when we heed a certain call, when the world must come together as one. I believe we have reached that crisis point again, and we seriously need to find a way to, quote, come together as one. Dear ones, you do not have to wait for a crisis to be benevolent and caring. At any given moment, you can open your eyes and choose to address something in the world that is out of balance. You are constantly being encouraged to think of others and the struggles they go through. That small act of kindness that you do is a beginning. Just imagine what it would look like if everyone in the world did one small act of kindness on the same day. There would be a shift in the Earth's frequency of immense magnitude. This is why it's so important to remain positive and give from your heart whenever you can. Ask yourself what you can do, and more importantly, what you are willing to do. The choice to make a change is in your power, dear ones. Stop waiting for somebody else to do it. Dear angels, today I promise to keep on doing whatever I can in the world to create more unity and balance. You know, those angels, they really know what they're talking about, because we don't have to wait for a crisis. We don't have to wait for things to get so out of hand before we step up and say, wait a minute, what's going on here? What are we thinking in this world? How did it get to this boiling point? And here we are, waiting for that superhero, waiting for somebody to do something, right? We don't have to. We don't have to wait. We can be kind every day. We can do a little act of kindness, even if we can't go out and, intervene or go out and feed thousands. We can maybe feed one homeless person. We can maybe give somebody a warm smile. That's doing something. If we all took action, like they said, if we all took action on the same day at the same time, just imagine what that would look like. Imagine our world with everybody being benevolent, with everybody being kind, smiling, and wanting to have that kind of world. It would be amazing. I think it would feel like we just wanted to go ahead and rise up and ascend. Kindness is your superpower. You're absolutely right, Linda Lemieux. It definitely is. And we had our Deirdre come in, Andrea, Blue Jean, Brookie, look at you filing in here, Charlie Coons, good morning. Oh, sweet Deirdre. I'm going to pray for that to clear up, my dear, so that you won't be saying, my eyes are bad. You'll be saying, I see perfectly. And let's have that happen. Let's have that become a reality with everybody's energy focused in on having the very best experience possible. So let's see what Kuan Yin has to say about all of this. And what do you think? What do you think about what the angels said to us? That if we just took that moment of pause and did one thing nice for another human being, what do you think that would look like in our world? How would it feel like to you to all of a sudden start having people doing nice things and saying nice things and treating you like you're special, treating you the way you want to be treated? That there's just joy in every moment. So Kuan Yin says, we're growing towards rebirth, And that's what that would be, isn't it? If we all did that, it would be a rebirth. It would be our whole world stepping up and being the very best we could be and showing each other how to be. Good morning, Michelle Landers, my sweet friend. All right, growing towards rebirth. It's easy to love the butterfly, who is a symbol of hope and emergence into new life. The path of the caterpillar may seem somewhat less blessed. Yet, without the caterpillar, the butterfly cannot be. Accept that which is ending, so you can open up and receive that which is beginning. This is the flow of life. You know, I think about that sometimes, about the caterpillar, and how we don't see it as precious like we do when we see a butterfly. So when we see that maybe a bird ate a caterpillar, or some other animal or whatever either killed or ate the caterpillar, we don't see that as a disaster, right? We don't think of it as a really bad thing. But when we think about possibilities, that caterpillar didn't get a chance to show its beauty. And if something harms or destroys a butterfly, we do get upset. We're like, wait a minute. And especially the monarchs, because the monarchs are protected. So what if we saw that caterpillar as just as precious as when we look at what it becomes, which is the butterfly? What if we treated all of life with the same respect that we treat those things that we view as beautiful and precious in our life? It would be a different world, wouldn't it? If we saw that kid that's dirty and on the streets as just as precious as the newborn baby that's snuggled in the blankets and freshly washed. If we saw every person with their real true heart, what a different world we would have. And that was the main feeling of this song. We see you. We acknowledge you. That seems to have hit a chord, that there are people and things that we just turn our heads, we just look the other way instead of saying, how can I help you? What can I do to lift you up? Isabel says, and that's the way, not waiting for one person to change it all. Not such thing with humans. Yeah, we can't just sit back and wait. It's just going to get worse if we do that, because we each have a responsibility. As we look around and we see things that are happening, like people going hungry, kids being taken, the human trafficking situation, it's not just going away, you guys. We can't just say, oh, they'll stop doing that, or somebody will step up, right? Somebody will take action. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to even think about it. But you know what? That somebody may be you. You may be the one to spot what's going on and save a child's life or an adult's life. It's not just children that are taken in human trafficking. So we can't just wait. We can't just say, I don't see you. Put my blinders on. I don't see you. I don't see what's happening over there, so it's not going to upset me. And we're so concerned about not being upset. Well, what about that person who hasn't eaten in 3 days because there's no money? What about that mother that's concerned about only feeding her child and she goes hungry? This is happening, you guys. This is what's real in the world. And I'm not saying this to bring anybody down. I'm saying it for awareness. We need more awareness. We need a We Are the World for the entire world. And how how do we make that happen? How do we find that compassion amongst all of us for everyone in the world who's struggling and who don't have enough? Or maybe you're facing some crisis situations. So it may not be a 911, but it's a crisis. It's a trauma. It's something that we all need to be aware of. And we all have to ask ourselves, like that question that was in the blog, what am I willing to do? And that's when things will turn around. When each one of us is willing to do something, that's when we'll see the change. That's when we'll see a shift, and our world will be a different place because we made it so. And Linda says, Isabel, you're so right. You be the change. We don't have to wait for a leader. We each can do more. That's it. You know, the leaders, they can only lead those who are willing to do something. We can use our voices, we can use our platforms, we can speak up and speak out. But for any change to happen, it has to be heard. And it has to be, I think, be said in such a way that others understand that, oh, I need to look at this. I need to see it. I need to take the blinders off. So the call to action was loud and clear from the angels. Take the blinders off. See what's going on and see what your part is. Do you have a role? Do you have something that you're willing to do? We all do. We all have a role in bringing our world back into balance. And let's stop this insanity of it being out of balance. Kathy says, the vicious cycle of Colin's addiction continues. I'm trying to not let it bring me down. I'm going to work even after crying myself to sleep last night. Yeah, I hear you, sweet one. And it's that feeling of not being able to do anything because you're focused on somebody who is not willing to do anything. And I know that that's a mother's love, that you want him to be well. You want him to be out of that addiction phase and try to do something for himself. And that's the sadness, and that's what you're feeling. And, you know, there's nothing that anyone can say or do that's going to take that away from you. That is your life, and it's your choice to go down that rabbit hole of depression and sadness and anger, or you can stay in the high vibration and keep praying that he will see himself and he will come back to you, because right now there's a dissonance. So we all pray for you, Kathy, for you and your entire family every day. All right, so let's do a couple of messages. We won't do many, but a couple from the Tiny Book, and then we're going to do that Peapod prayer this morning. We are going to see who's on our list, checking it twice. And you guys, I know that there are names that are not on the list that you've probably spoken. So I do, because I had it last night before I went to sleep. I have a pen and paper. And so if you have anybody you want to add, any updates, anything we need to be aware of, please let me know, because I want to revise that as soon as we're done today. And yes, Deirdre, I certainly, well, a card, okay. I can pick a Kuan Yin card because I have that deck right here. And Sally wants page 14 for Kathy and Colin. Good morning, sweet Josie. And let's call in our Rick. Oh, sweetheart. Oh, Kathy, I know you're going to be going into work in just a minute, but let me read page 14 for Kathy and Colin. We encourage you, dear ones, to stand in your divine beingness of love and light. Set your boundaries of what you will allow in your life. Do not let anyone disrespect you or harm you in any way. You do not deserve such behavior. Wow, Sally, you knew the right page to go to, didn't you? Thank you for that. And Kathy, please take that message in. Please take it in. And Kathy wants page 28 because Colin turns 28 on the 8th of February. So let's see what his message is. Let your anger and grief motivate you to seek solutions. I'm going to read the one before that. At the end of the day, when all is said and done, and you lay your head to rest for the final time, are you content and proud of how you lived your life? That is a great question, a really great question for all of us, not just for those going through their struggles and their challenges, but really look at this message. I'm going to read it again because it's that profound. At the end of the day, when all is said and done, and you lay your head to rest for the final time, are you content and proud of how you lived your life? Oh, I think we should all have that in front of us every day where we could be reminded. Yes, Kathy, I hope these messages have helped you today, darling. And let's see. Deirdre had asked for a message. And Deirdre Kuan Yin says, good fortune is granted. Just as there are physical seasons upon the earth, the soul too goes through its seasons. Spring in the soul heralds a time of birth, new ideas, new inspirations, new energy to take action, and new life, new connections, and new gifts abound. New life and good fortune are headed your way. What an encouraging message for you, Deirdre. Pay attention. Pay attention to that. You know, I don't normally pull cards for people in the morning, but yeah, I felt Spirit said, yes, pull that card, and it's a beautiful, encouraging message. And Kathy says, I'm in tears, friends. I love you all. I need to smile, breathe, and walk into work with gratitude. Absolutely, Kathy. And keep those messages in mind that came out today, because Spirit's talking to you. And Michelle says, what a rich question. Yeah, it is. It's something that we all need to constantly be aware of. What am I doing? And am I proud of what I'm doing? Am I proud of how I'm showing up in the world and how I'm being here for others? All right, so thank you all for picking those pages. We'll do the last one for Isabel, page 11, and then we'll go into our prayers. So if you have something that needs to be in our prayer, on our prayer list or in our prayer circle today, then please type that into the comments so we can be aware of it. And you're so welcome, Deirdre. It was a very encouraging message. And Kathleen says, Tim Linder's 2 little boys with hemophilia are both in the hospital again. Please say extra prayers for Kagan and little brother Wyatt. Wyatt is in the ICU. We've had Wyatt on our prayer list for a long time. And let's just see him rising up in perfect health. Oh, you're so welcome. All right, so page 11, and then we'll get to any and all prayers that you have to offer up. And thank you, Deirdre, for offering our daily prayer for all humans, for Gaia, and all who live on her back. All. I want to stress that. Every being that lives on Gaia's back. For world peace, for attention to human trafficking, save someone's child, and support for parents of addicted children through grace. All right, page 11. Make a commitment to be a better human. Show up for others and watch how you will make it to your appointment on time. We will help bend the time for you if you meet us halfway. Dear ones, this is one of the most important lessons you can learn. Love, honor, and respect each other. Yes, we needed that final message, didn't we? We needed to know that that is what turns things around. That's what will turn our world around. And I keep going back to that thought that came through from the angels. What if everybody on the planet today made that choice? Every person did an act of kindness. Every person puts a smile on your face. No matter what's going on in your world, you have a smile. The smile doesn't cost you anything. That smile is beautiful. So let it be there. Show others that, yeah, we can do this, you guys. We can be happy for each other. We can love each other. And in loving each other, we're choosing to be part of the solution. You know, I had a guest on the Peapod yesterday. Unfortunately, his phone was not doing too well, and so what he was saying was not seen and heard. And I really want his message to be heard because there's a movement going on, and he's young and he's full of energy, and he wants to make a mark in the world toward peace. He wants to bring people together to look for solutions, not to just look and say, oh, there's so many bad things going on. It's not about that. It's not about a battle cry. It's all about what is the solution? What can we do? How can we help? And yes, Sally, indeed, the lost and lonely right now, it's a monumental crisis right now. It really is. And there's a lot we can do. We really can. It's not just a pipe dream to say, let's help. It's a reality that we can do something. So thank you for that, Sally, to pray for them and their families, and most of all, for us living in this big, beautiful universe. Absolutely. And Kathleen says, baby Wyatt Lowe, who had the heart transplant, is now doing well and seems to finally be thriving after 3 years of being in the hospital most of his life. That's beautiful, Kathleen. And Kathleen, how are you doing? We'd like to know, because we're still lifting you up in prayer for complete healing of your eyes. Andrea says, the P family makes me smile, fills my heart with love. Prayers for all. Absolutely. Prayers for every one of us, no exclusions. So let's go ahead and get to the prayers. And if you have anything at all that you want to share, then please do. Please put it in the comments so that we know that we can change something that we're praying for. We can add to the list. We pray for all the peace for peace on earth, for attention to human trafficking through Save Someone's Child. And I did not tweak this yet, but we want to add in there for the families that are going through some kind of addiction among one or more of their family members. We pray for Perchetta, for Percheer and Goofy, Aunt Mina and Neil, Navriti, Jasmine and family, Alba, Billy and Tim and their family, and Tim is preparing to have surgery done, and it's a very intense surgery. It's going to include a lot of recuperation time and rehabilitation and learning how to walk all over again. So please keep my sister in your prayers and her husband Tim. Sheila and Kevin and their family, Gary, Loretta and Cecil and their family, my sister Nola, who turned 90 years old this month, and she hasn't been feeling real well, so please lift her up. Joanne Castrillo, her husband John and their family, especially her daughter Jackie and grandson Eris. Elaine, Deirdre, and all of her family, and Deirdre praying for your eyes to be 100%. Praying for your sister Steph and husband Bob, Adriel, Joni and son John, Carl and Viola, Tia Fernetti, Mickey, Suzanne Millard and her family. And she asked yesterday, Sunday, for prayers for her son-in-law and his troop that's deployed and away from their family. Jacob, Marietta and Ed, Raquel and Claude's family, Leo Harley and his family, Lakshmi, Ken, Jebby, Jim and son, Ryan, Ricky's family and friends, especially our beautiful Queen Josephine, and little Ricky, Tom and Mary, Tammy Williams, Meg and Jim and family, Jean and Ron Lorio and family, and Aunt Mary Lou, Catherine and Michael Kovacs and all of your family, Rosalind Good Vibes, Sally and Tony and Rose De La Rosa, Kathy and Bob Hand, her beautiful family, and lifting up especially Colin, Bo and Candy Hand, Michael, Patty, Sonia, Paul and Marlene, Joe and his wife, Pat Moss and her family, Becky LaFave and Travis, Erica Hoppy and her family, and she asked yesterday or Sunday for prayers for her foster dog who's having some anxiety problems. Corinne, Charlie Coons and family, Hope Wellington Marshall over in the UK, lifting you up high, Hope, and praying that you're listening in somehow this morning. Praying for your sweet family, Zena and the girls, Montana and Iana, and for your parents, Trey Horn, Andrea Gregg, Catherine, Eric, John, Tatiana, Annie Seven and Grayson, Luz Orsini and all of her family, Christine Lewis, Gail and Nick Zimmerman, Jennifer and Micah, Oksana and her beautiful family, Herb, Caitlin and Aunt Gail, Isabel and Paul and your daughters, Beata and her daughter, Dick Lemieux's family, our sweet Linda who's with us today, and her sons and grandchildren. Linda, let us know how that house hunting is going, because I know that you're in need of finding a place to land right now. Praying for Linda's friend in Sarasota, for Stacy and Josh Lord and their children and grandchildren and all of the family as they prepare to celebrate her mom Karen's life, who went to be in spirit this week. Mary Lord, Buster, Wayne, our Blue Jean and Dave and all the fur babies, and praying for Blue's eyes also to heal completely. Dolly the horse, Chance the horse, Lindsay, Aunt Inga, Rose Sermon, Gary McCorkle, Brookie, and sweet Dylan and Maxwell, the Girardis, Jeanette and Ernie, Sean, Lillian in Norway, and all of her family. Kathleen Caputo, who says, I am healing, can see my TV again, still some blurriness at times, but the doc says I'm doing well. P prayers certainly make a difference. Oh, they really do. Thank you for the update, Kathleen. And praying for our sweet baby Wyatt and his family, baby Haven, baby Divine, Kat, Steve, Candy and Pastor Bruce, the Deerfield Valley in Vermont, Captain Corey and his sweet mom Pixie. Pixie's been really having a hard time missing Corey, so let's send her an extra bit of love this morning. Alba, Dottie and Dawn, Grace Isis, and all of her sisters praying for Gracie as she prepares to travel to Kenya to celebrate her dad's life. Raymond, Darren Walker, Arthur Thompson, Karen Palmer and all her family, Vicki King, Elaine Armstrong, Elena, Marianne, Henrik and Lorraine and John, Tammy Fisk and her daughter and sister Tracy and Tammy's grandson CJ, Lori, Kelly, Rochelle and her mom Rose, Stephen, Catherine, Ruth Anderson and her family, especially her two daughters who are in college, and her sister-in-law Sharon, who is not doing well. Please lift her up. Jeannie's friends there in Colorado and her sister Merle. The whole area of Boulder, where I will be headed in a couple of months. Deb Goldberg and family, Michelle with breast cancer, Crystal and Dean Nobles and family, Laura Hill, Julia Osborne, Sharon Rhea and family, Sherry Gatewood and her brother-in-law, Hanaya Hummingbird, Tammy Hill and her family, Phil B., Lynn Gallagher, Terry Wilderman and her father here in Florida, Mary Crincoli and her friends, Irene and Eduardo, Eddie Quills, Michael Murdoch, Jessica, Fidel, Camilla and Nick in Australia, Lynn Andriozzi, Frank, Albie, Viola, Kenneth, Bobby, Monsi, Kamal, Maddie, Akil and the Pakistan orphans, Yuri, Scott, Letitia, Mary, Joseph, James, Drake, Alicia Burns, Pam Dite, Kimberly, Ellen, Sue Seekoff and Richard, Terry Gilstad, Chiara, Marissa, Allie, Bree, Claudia, Mary Ann Peach and family, Cassandra and Danny Gary, Linny, John Thaddeus Fiore, Kuka Carney and her family. Kuka's a brand new grandma, so sending her some love. Sharon Boyle and Zoe, Carol Fisher, Deborah, Violet, Walter, Brookie's Aunt Jeannie, Sue and grandchildren, Carrie's niece Laura, Maggie's mom, Bradley Capone, Andy, Amanda Summer, Robert Dosa, Miles and Sarah, Debbie Carol Hawks, Carl, Chris Blake, Dante, Jerry, Kaylee, Trevor Jordan, Richard Weber, Charlotte Abrahams, Michelle Landers and her family, her children Alan and Alicia, Kagan and Wyatt Linder, and Kathleen has brought to our attention that they need extra prayers right now. They're both in the hospital. Barbara Kaufman McGillicuddy, Joanne McCann New, Whitney, Jude, Karen Gibbons and daughter Matt, James Schultz family, Julie Kiss and her mom Cynthia, Linda Kiss, Courtney, Lucinda, Ryan, M, Pat, Sophia, Aaron Parker, Angelica Kampemans, Peggy, Claire, Carrie Klingon Butcher and her family, Brian Hughes, Pat O'Connor, Zoe Charles, Erica Fagels, Yolanda, Selby Barnes, Robin Waters Dykes and her mom Jewel, Joey, Terry, Joanne and Leo, Sam, Matt, Charles and Nita, Yusha, Nancy Brodowski, E.C., Terry Newman, Jen and Norm, Keith, Joe H., Ollie the Cat, Marisol Soto, Cassie, Deborah, Tyler, Chad Ehlers and his daughter, Dick Waters, Milton Carbajal, Tomas Diaz, Cameron, Boris Zoffman, Jacqueline Carbajal and David Reiger, Solby Barnes, Aud Barnes, Gunn Ellen Sundahl, Vita Hammond, Maria Mitchinson Higman Simpson, Lisa Jo Davis, Jordan, Lydia Benedita, Rebecca Stewart Rickardson, Matt, Angelique, Paula Graca, David Brett, the Rowland family, Colleen, Dylan Hickson, Richard Barnes, Cole Grayson, Joe Briscoe's family and friends, Robert Wallington's family, and especially his sons Ben and Joe, JT, Francis, Shauna, Danielle Riverin and family, Annie's Aunt Carol, Chris and Natika, Elise, Kara, Pam, Christine and Ed, Charlie, Isaac, Jonathan and Eddie, Barbara and Diane, Kim, Peter and Catherine DeSante, Mary Jane in Vermont, Carol Caruso, Val Meyer, Tasha, Jocelyn, Linda Kraft and family, Eric and John, Darlene Osei, Paul G., Liam G., Pam, Mivan and Vanya, Daniel McGraw, Rebecca Sherman, Joe Ketterer, Gabrielle, Ina, Joanne's mom up in North Carolina, Donna, Courtney, Nancy, Tammy Greco's family, Bailey, Jacob, Mary, Brian, Lily, Wilbert, which is Grayson's grandfather, and Cindy, his grandmother, Ron Mason, Gabby Forrester, the Vega family, Lauren, Lisa Capoli Matroni, Bobby, Elaine, Shiraz, Sharu, Sandy, Terry Funk's family and friends, Wyndham Lawrence's family, Adil, Laura, Evelyn Smith, Beatrice, Amina, Israel in all areas of conflict, immigrants in El Paso and New York and anywhere they are being abused, Ashley Miller, Ellen Swilly family, Brother Wayne Redden's family, Alina, Susanna, Lana, Tom Freeney and wife Linda, Grace Anna, Kim Coles Vintner, Linda Lemieux's nephew Kobe, Shoshana Sabring, Ilana, Stephen, Keith, Uncle Tony, LP, Adam Holmes, Bob Smith, Chris, Christina and Clint, and Janine. And let's pray this prayer for everyone on our list, for all of us, all who are present. And Isabel asking for some to be added, Louisa and Almeida. Absolutely we will. So please speak to me clearly, Lord. Open my eyes to hear your voice. Open my heart to commune with you more deeply. I want to feel your loving embrace. Open the doors that need to be opened and close the doors that need to be closed. Let's just feel into that. Feel into the need for all of these prayers to be seen and heard, acknowledged and answered for the best and highest good of all. And we gather together as family every day and lift up every one of these names, holding them in our hearts. And this is just a reminder of what that is and what that looks like. And let's pray this prayer together. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. And where there is sadness, joy. And every day we lift each other up and we say these beautiful, amazing words that are, thank you, I love you. I love you so very much. I pray for everyone on this list, for everyone who's listening and will listen later on, that love is the energy that heals. And we certainly have enough of that here in this family to heal the world. So let's lift each other. Let's hold each other tight as we stand in a circle and say those words that are encouraging and that we want the very best for each and every one. I'm going to get Leo on the phone and have him sing to us. And here we go, here we go. And remember, Leo needs a little bit of help at the end. We don't want him to say woo all by himself. We have to say it too. So thank you, Leo, for this beautiful song and this beautiful message of love. Come on, come on.
Morning Cuppa full of joy every day. Just start the day on a high vibe, we call the AAA. Morning Cuppa full of joy with all the P's and the bar. The daily mantra is thank you, I love you, namaste. Morning Cuppa full of joy every day. Just start the day on a high vibe.
Thank you all for hanging out throughout the prayers. I know that's a long prayer list, but it's important for us to pray for each and every one, to put our energy into the healing that we know is going to happen. We have that faith and that belief. Josie, how's our little Ricky doing? We need updates. We need pictures. Thank you, Catherine. Leo, in the house. I love you. Oh, thank you, Josie. Yes, thank you, Andrea, for sharing out the morning show when you find it. Because some people have a hard time. It just doesn't show up on their screen. So thank you all who do share it out for others to find. AAA. Morning Cuppa full of joy with all the P's and the bar. The daily mantra is thank you, I love you, namaste. Morning Cuppa full of joy every day. Just start the day on a high five, we call the AAA. Morning Cuppa full of joy with all the P's and the bar. The daily mantra is thank you, I love you, namaste. Full of joy. Alright, Deirdre knows what time it is. It's time for that end of the song where we all rejoice and send each other off with a beautiful message of love and hope. Josie knows. Do you know? Woo! Alright, I love you all so very much. Stay in your hearts. And I'm going to be seeing you a couple of times today. I'll be back on in about an hour with Dr. Ruth Anderson. We do a Wednesday meditation every Wednesday. It's called Meditation Excavation at 10 o'clock Eastern Time. And then at 1 o'clock, I'll be back on with the World Peace Meditation for 10 million for World Peace with Marbeth Dunn. So come join us. Just hang out today. Isn't that a great way to have a great day? Just hang out with everyone who's showing up in the world to really be present and to do what we need to do to bring the energy and the vibration and the frequency of this world to a really good point. I love you so much. I will see you later. Namaste, y'all. Bye, everyone. Have a great Wednesday.